And here we are, once again, completely vindicated and completely right on the money with our predictions, boys. Granted, I am still struggling myself to believe how absolutely diabolically bad the Outer Worlds 2 has performed. This is, and I'm not over exaggerating, the grand equivalent of having zero sales. And I can hear some of you already yelling and screaming and typing on your keyboard. But actually, The Outer Worlds 2 has sold at least 10,000 copies and it's on Game Pass. I'm gonna address all of that. But in the grand business sense, The Outer World 2 and the performance it had on its day of release is the equivalent of zero sales. When your sales are this low, you might as well just throw money out of the window. Obsidian is probably making a list of developers to fire because there's no way. Obsidian should be bankrupt. Now, granted, it's not gonna be bankrupt because it's part of Microsoft, and Microsoft's not gonna let that studio just go, even though they have literally made the Outer Worlds 1, the Outer Worlds 2, and Avowed. Oh my god. So let's get into how absolutely disastrous the Outer Worlds 2 situation is in, because I have so many examples of how it has undeniably, completely shit the bed. Oh yes. So strap yourselves in. Yesterday, on the 29th of October, the Outer Worlds got released. There you go, the release time, 15 UTC. And it got a whopping that peaked literally here at 21 UTC, which is 9 p.m. by the way, with 13.2k players. This is a disaster, okay? Look at this. This is the Outer Worlds 1. The Outer Worlds 1 peaked on Steam with 20k current players. And you need to understand, the Outer Worlds 1 was a shitty console exclusive for literally 2 or something years before it even came to Steam. So, this alone should be dropping your jaw to the floor of absolutely how bad it is. I don't even honestly care what's gonna happen today. I don't even care to wait until Sunday and Saturday to see how much it gets. This thing, if it gets above 15k players, it's gonna be a miracle. Yesterday, I talked about this. That this game, at the minimum, is gonna get 10k. Well, considering it peaked at like almost 11k, I said that 10k, it's obviously getting that, minimum 11k. And I said it's probably getting between 15 and 19k players. 20, not feeling it, but maybe if it's super lucky, it can get close to 19. I honestly did not think it's gonna be below 15. I knew that there's a possibility, but I gave that possibility like a 0.1% chance of actually being real. You know what that means, by the way? I already compared the Avowed chart to the original Outer Worlds 2 chart that we already had at the pre-releases. And the chart is the same, by the way. Look at this. This was when the pre-release started, and this was the Sunday peak. It's effectively just roughly a little bit below two times. And the Outer Worlds 2 is literally the same situation. Look at this. Started off at 7k and barely below that. And yesterday I also talked about the fact that I think that it could be performing a little bit maybe better than Avowed if it's super lucky because of this. Because Avowed didn't have it and none of the other games did have it. Which, at that time, I actually meant that people are just playing it longer because it's a better game. Turns out, no! This peak, now I understand what this peak is. Previously, I did contemplate in my head that this is a possibility, that this is the super fans, but again, I thought that that's a super minor possibility. This is just super fans. This is it. This whole thing, the Outer Worlds 2, this is the conclusion actually. The Outer Worlds 2 was not bought by anyone who wasn't a super fan. Everyone who was not dedicated or a super fan of this did not even touch the game. I have not seen this before. We have seen similar situations, but this is a first. When a game when the consensus on the internet about the game is so bad that literally no one but super fans buys it. Now, granted, you can say, but this was true for Concord, this was true for Dustborn, this was true for a lot of other obviously super vogue games. But this is the first time that it happens to something like this that has had at least a reputation that was not atrociously garbage before. This is a new precedent, boys. I am excited. Yeah, I'm never ditching the allegations. Anyway, dude, it's over. Look at this. It's performing worse than Avowed. Avowed did better. And again, yeah, you can say, well, Avowed had Saturday and Sunday, but no, even the Tuesday they release everything was 17K, and this is 13K. It is not even close. The opinion of people on this game is absolutely abysmal, and these don't seem haters, and this is... I only have 2 of these tweets because I just saw this, but the opinion of people is... No one even cares to honestly talk about it at this point. Look, this is the opinion. Played around 1.5 hours on Steam before I've refunded it. Performance was really bad, even on a magical thingamajiggy. Lots of visual glitches. The opening area was just plain sloppy and boring. I definitely attested that. It was probably straightforward enough. NPCs were static. Yeah, you can see that in most gameplay trailers. Enemies' voice lines felt weird off almost if they were AI generated. Would not be surprised. The biggest problem that Avowed honestly faces is the fact that most people are gonna tell you this who are not like, oh my god, Avowed's a 10 out of 10 game. Most people are gonna tell you that when there's dialogue options in Avowed, not Avowed, but the other worlds too, you want to press none of them because you do not resonate with any one of them. I checked out multiple, and I did not want to press any of them. And I am not some kind of insane snowflake, one-of-a-kind personality when it comes to dialogue options in games. I'm pretty normal. I'm pretty casual at this stuff. And if I don't want to press any of them, that means that most people do not want to engage in any of these dialogues. And you know what's the funny part? So many shill channels were like, the dialogue trees are insane, wacky, wooey. Yes, that's why we call you shill channels, because you lie. In any case, nah man, I might look at it again after several patches and when it's on sale for $20-$30, but not full price. I love this because this is what I have been advocating for such a long time, by the way. Modern day games are $20-$30 peak. I don't give a shit if you're a AAA development game and your game costed $1 billion to make. If you're selling your game for more than 20 buccarinos, I'm not fucking buying. Simple. As simple as that. It doesn't get simpler, in fact. It's the simplest shit ever. Games are just not worth it anymore. $50 is already too much, and you want me to give you 70, and then you're gonna make fun of me for buying it? Dude, you put that price on. I hate them so much. Another one. Played it uninstalled after 4 hours. Insanely dull and soulless. Space Avowed, basically. Through. And then there's like, this guy just can't be through. Yeah, it's absolutely pathetic. And for all of those of you who are saying, oh, but it's Game Pass. Mandatory bi-weekly announcement that Game Pass is doing good. It's making more money than it has ever been, and it's absolutely amazing. Don't worry about it. Mandatory announcement. Okay, so this is the official Xbox, how much people are playing it. It doesn't show us numbers, but it does rank games. So if we press most played, I'm sure we're gonna see Avowed, right? It's a Game Pass exclusive. Oh, by the way, boys, like the video right now. Hype it up if you're on a mobile device. It takes less than a second, and I gratefully thank anyone who does it because it does help, it does improve, and it does make other people see the things. I greatly appreciate it. And if you think this stuff that we talk about is important, definitely like the video right now and hype it up on a mobile device. And it takes less than a second. Thank you for everyone who does that. But anyway, can we find Avowed here? You probably know the answer. Okay, first, nothing. This is top 15. Best case scenario for the top 15 game, I need to remind everyone from the data that we have gotten from actual people, developers that have their games on Xbox, is that you can be in the 15 position with as little as 3K concurrent players. Maximum, as far as I have ever heard, is like 10K, but I don't know what that even is. But yes, the 15th position might as well be as low as 2K concurrent players. So where is Avowed? I mean, the Outer Worlds. No. Oh, what's that? That was the first 50 items? Well, I guess I'll just check the next page. No. I actually don't know. Maybe it's somewhere here. I kind of doubt it, but that's not the point of this. You need to understand that the Outer Worlds 2 doesn't even have 2K probably players concurrently on Xbox. And by the way, this was most played. You saw me click it. Now, let's click on the new button. Oh, look at that. Yeah, I actually checked where it is here. I didn't actually bother to finding it on the actual most played lists, but I did care to actually find it here so I knew where it was. Oh, look at that, boys. So it is here somewhere, but keep in mind, this is just newest. I don't even know how this is actually ranked on newest. I'm not gonna lie, I have no idea how Xbox ranks the newest tab. But in any case, you understand it. Well, this is a disaster. There's no saving the Outer Worlds. It has effectively sold 0 copies. In a financial sense, this thing has just burned money and then nothing. Obsidian is dead. And the funny part is this actually proves how smart gamers are, how we don't take slop, how we refuse to buy slop. And I think also this is very telling, the fact that it has an 81% of positivity rating. I have talked about this. When you have games that fall flat like this, they typically have a very high, above 80% user review score, because only super mega fans play it on average. So normal people are not even gonna fucking touch this shit. So that's also a thing. That was also a telling thing that we saw previously. But yeah, it's done. The irony of the Outer Worlds is the fact that it's actually like at least 10 times a better game than Avowed ever was. But the funny part is, it has sold less than it. There is no shot. I don't know if it can even actually break 13K at this point. If it breaks 13K, maybe it's gonna be like, I don't know, maybe close to 15K at the Sunday or Saturday. But I doubt it, because it's shit. It's just bad, and you can hear a buzzsaw from downstairs, so I'm gonna end the video. Anyway, thanks for watching. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.